time. Time to call the city council meeting to order. Ms. Rhodes, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Austin?
Present.
Mr. Hewitt?
Here.
Ms. McGinnis?
Here.
Ms. Nally?
Here.
Ms. Price?
Here.
Mr. Prine?
Here.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Sir, you have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Brian Reese, I see you found your chair right by the podium.
Thank you. All right, invite you to join me tonight. Our Father, we come to you tonight. We're just so grateful and thankful for another day, another evening to spend here in City Hall. I do pray tonight that you'd be with this council as they represent their constituents and try to make decisions that are best for this city and its future. I pray, Lord, that you give them wisdom and guidance for every thing that they need to consider tonight. Thank you for those residents that are here and their concern and care for the city. I pray you be with all of our first responders, our police and fire and EMTs. I just pray that you just give them protection and help as they go out and serve and protect and do what's best for the residents of our city. Thank you for the work they do. I pray that you'd be with our city, our state, our nation, be with all of our military, give them protection as they protect us. We pray your blessings upon this evening. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
All right, thank you for attending tonight. I see some familiar faces that I haven't seen for a while, so glad to see you back. So we're here, announcements, presentations, public comment that's not on the agenda. Dana.
Good evening. I have my Discover Downtown Franklin hat on tonight. I am the board president this year for DDF, and we wanted to let you know that Discover Downtown Franklin has been awarded a grant of $24,567 from the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs through their National Main Street program. This grant is going to allow us to have a farmer's market manager to help us out with that because the farmer's market has grown so much. We have over 75 vendors coming in now every week, so it's pretty huge. We are also going to be able to have an intern coming from Franklin College, which we're really excited about, and we're also going to have our second full-time person. We're going to be hiring an economic vitality specialist who will be doing our marketing and who will also be spending a lot of time working directly with our local businesses, helping to plug them into our events, making sure that we're meeting their needs, helping to provide information and growth opportunities and things like that for them. So we just wanted to share the good news with you.
Thank you, Dana.
Good stuff.
Mark?
Good evening. Mayor Barnett asked me to let everyone know that NDOT made an announcement last week for community crossings grants for 2023. They have two calls. This was the first call for the year. City of Franklin was awarded $1 million for our paving project. The Board of Works authorized me to advertise for the bids for this project. We'll open bids on May 4th, and we would expect to award a contract at the Board of Works meeting on May 15th. There's about $2.5 million is my estimate of the paving work that has to be done. So this $1 million award is a 50-50 matching grant program. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have about that.
How many communities got it? How many communities got it in Johnson County?
In Johnson County, there were two communities that were that made application and were awarded funds, Franklin and New Whiteland.
Which streets you looking at for this, Mark?
We have about 20 different streets we're looking at, and I understand that the Journal is doing an article on both New Whitelands and our award, and I provided a list of all those streets. It includes the street name and then the starting and ending point of the project. So we do it by block or by block segments.
Or Tara can send that to the city council tomorrow, which streets is being looked at. So you would have that ahead of time? We can do that.
Mark, for persons, we know the answers to these questions, but the public may not. How are those streets determined about the Pazer system? Is that how we have a program? We just don't unilaterally pull them out of the air,
We
right?
have a program where we rate all of the streets annually. It's on a rating of 1 to 10. And the 10 is the highest rated street, and we have a couple of streets that, Yandy Street is typically the one on the list that's rated at 2. But that's being addressed separately. But what we do is we take a look at the lowest rated streets, and those are the ones that we consider for mill and overlay work. We also do other treatments such as crack seal or a product called rejuvenation that is on higher rated streets and they're lower cost treatments, but they extend the life of the pavement. So we don't have to go to the expensive work of mill and overlay, which is really, other than reconstruction, that's about the highest dollar per square yard treatment that we do.
And Mark, our overall rating has been going up every year, and you were telling me the other day where we're at now, and it's kind of unheard of.
Yeah, the average rating right now, after our latest round of evaluations, is 6.2 on a 10-point scale. That's a higher level fair rating overall. A lot of communities I see around the state have their average ratings are in the 4 to 5 range.
Is one good, I mean, one bad and 10 good, or the
Yes.
other way around? So 10's
One is it's a lost cause. 10 is a brand new construction. When we do a mill and overlay project, a street that has had that treatment is automatically rated a 9. It doesn't go to a 10. The other thing I wanted to bring up, Mayor Barnett asked me to do this, is NDOT opened bids for the East Jefferson Street sidewalk project last week. We had the project on the letting back in January, and the bids came in too high. The project was considered not awardable under state statute. Unfortunately, the same thing happened this time. We made adjustments to the engineer's estimate. If the low bid is more than 20% above the engineer's estimate, it's not awardable. This time, the engineer's estimate was adjusted based on the prior bids. We received one bid this time, and it was even higher. So it was about 25% above the engineer's estimate. I think the low bid was $1.585 million. So we are going to back up a little bit. We're going to watch the bids over the next few months, and we're going to put the project on the letting in the fall. The intent there is contractors are going to be booking work for 2024 in the fall. So our goal is to find a contractor that's trying to fill out their schedule for 24, and hopefully we'll be able to get some better bids. We will also work to adjust that engineer's estimate based on bids that come out over the next few months. The one thing that NDOT did tell me is there were 4 local public agency projects, LPA, that's cities, counties. There were 4 of those projects that were sidewalk projects on this last letting. None of them were awardable. So it's kind of a trend that we're not sure why it's happening. We're getting much better bids on road projects. I don't know if it's a matter of some of the contractors just don't want to do the sidewalk projects or what the issue is, and that's something that we can also try to find out.
Any questions for Mark on the sidewalks? So the reason I wanted Mark to talk about this one, and Kenny hit on it a while ago in a private conversation with Mark, that we've been talking about this for 4 years now, and we've been telling the residents, the residents are wanting the sidewalks. Not everyone, I'd say 80% want the sidewalks. And we keep telling them, well, next year, well, here we are again. And we're trying our best, but when the bids are too high and you gotta be responsible with your funds, You can't just go build something because you want to build it. And that's kind of what happened with Yandes Street. It was the same way. We had to go get a couple different, bid that one a couple times because we wanted to be responsible with the money. It just takes a little longer to get the projects done. So Kenny and I know that's Kenny's district, and we're gonna get hammered, which all of us will, but you know what? We gotta do what you gotta do. So anyway, just wanted to get that out there, and I'm glad to see Leanne's writing notes. And Leanne, I don't do this very often, but I am glad you're here and you can get that out, that we're trying to get that done. So thank you.
It's not that he doesn't want you here very often. He didn't say that.
Well, I don't know
We
about
say,
that.
yeah, we do want you.
So thank you. Okay, is there any other announcements, presentations, or public comment? Hearing none, we'll go on to the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda for the minutes of April 3rd, 2023.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move to read old business by title only.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to read by title only. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item number 1 under old business, it will be a public hearing, approval of donation fund appropriation. Police Chief Kirby Cochran.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council. Just here again, we had some donated funds from a community partner in the amount of $4,150. I'm just here asking for an appropriation so we can purchase these AEDs.
And it was introduced last meeting, so it is, like I said, it's a public hearing. We'll open this up for a public hearing at this time. Is there any questions for Chief? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. Any questions from the council?
Yeah, I got one. Chief, how many do we have currently in police vehicles?
We're about 15 short. Once we purchase these, and I will say that we do have a community partner that's came forward and they're going to offer to purchase the remainder of these. We're just waiting on a quote, which will be about $9,000 or $10,000 donation from the public.
And I have been contacted by that donor too, so as soon as we get the quote to know what the amount is, we'll be coming to you. So we can get them all taken care of.
And there again, I think we got to thank our public for helping with donations to our police and fire department, and which makes us a safer community. So, okay, I think we're ready for action.
Move to approve budgetary ordinance 23-02.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hearing none, we'll go to new business.
Move to read new business by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to read new business by title only. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Item number 1, Lago Properties ERA Declaratory Request, Community Development Specialist Dana Monson.
Good evening. Last Tuesday, Mr. Dustin Huddleston and Mr. Jack Loggle, who are here this evening, came before the Franklin Economic Development Commission and presented a new project for the city of Franklin. We're pretty excited about this. Mr. Loggle is proposing to build a new 70,000 square foot building that is on 2035 Earlywood Drive. The building itself will become the new home of Dual Tech, which is located currently on the north side of Earlywood Drive on Blue Chip Court. This is very high level on the project. If you do have specific details, either one of these gentlemen would be happy to answer any questions that you have. But as you know, as part of our abatement process, which is where this is all leading to, the state does require, the first step being that we declare the property an economic revitalization area. This property has not yet had that designation, so that's the first step that we're here to do this evening. And Tara, if you could go down to that next map that shows go down just a little bit, there's that one, perfect. I do want to make this clear because this is a little bit unusual for us. For that property, on the blue part, Tara, if you'll go, there we go, perfect, thank you. That entire property that you see that's the brown where the other buildings are, that is the Patriot Park. This ERA, however, does not include that entire property. This ERA will only include kind of that odd-shaped parcel where it says Loggle Properties, yes, perfect, thank you, right there. Mr. Loggle has a building that is currently under construction there. This ERA designation and this new abatement request will actually be for the new building that will be located south of the current building that is under construction. So it's a little bit different than what we normally see with our ERA requests and our abatement requests because it's kind of moved around a little bit. They have requested a 10-year tax abatement for real property and a 10-year tax abatement on personal property. They are estimating to spend $4,403,000 on the real property, $5,267,635 in the personal property. If you so choose to approve this resolution tonight, Mr. Huddleston and Mr. Loggle will be back at our next meeting on May 1st to give you a more in-depth picture of what's going to happen there and everything that Dual Tech does and the work and the reason for this new building. But as I said, the first step that we need to do tonight is I'm asking for approval of Resolution 2023-08, which is the declaratory resolution designating this area as an ERA and requesting a time and hearing for the public hearing that is also required, which would be held on May 1st at 6 p.m. here. So unless you have any questions for Mr. Huddleston or Mr. Taylor, if you have anything you want to add on the ERA portion.
I don't really have anything on the ERA. It's just that, like I said, that's a building to the south there. And then, but there's nothing else on that part.
Yeah, it's just a little bit different because it's a whole big area, but we're only actually doing a portion of that in the ERA.
And as Dana has pointed out for you, I've continued to think the legislation, the statute, it makes it a misnomer.
It does.
You're passing this resolution to authorize you to consider finally adopting the resolution at the next meeting. And that's, after that is done, then you can consider the tax abatement. So
Yeah.
it's the first step in the process.
Yes.
Okay, is there any other questions? If not, I think we're ready for action on this one.
Move to approve the ERA declaratory request.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No opposition, just need to recuse myself from this particular.
From this one here? Okay.
You
Is
have
that-
a client relationship with Mr. Loggle,
Correct.
correct? So technically, just out of abundance of caution, it's good to just recuse yourself from this.
Absolutely.
Ms. Gray, should we have that added, setting the date and time for the public hearing as part of that motion?
Is it not part of the resolution itself they've adopted?
It is part of the resolution, so
Yeah,
is that
they-
okay?
They've approved the resolution
Okay.
as presented.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Okay, then Dana, you're going to stay right there on the next one.
Yes,
So,
sir.
So the next one is Essex Furukawa. Did I say it right?
Yes, you
Sure.
did.
Wow, okay. Real property and personal property tax abatement request, Community Development Specialist Dana Monson.
Yes, good evening. I am here actually to request that we table this until the May 1st meeting. The representative from Essex contacted me today about 3 o'clock, and she has come down with COVID. So rather than come here and risk making everybody else sick, we would like to table this to the May 1st meeting.
Okay, so I think with that, we'll need a motion to table to the May 1st.
Motion to table to the May 1st meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dana. Next item, request to appropriate grant funds received from Drug-Free Johnson County Police Chief Kirby Cochran, and I believe this one here is introduction only.
Correct, sir.
Yeah, correct. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council. Just here to ask for some appropriation of some grant funds for $3,196.95. Those funds, once again, they're very limited use, so that would be used for some narcotic surveillance equipment. That's it.
Okay, it was introduced. Does anybody have any questions while Chief is standing there?
No
Thank you,
questions.
Chief.
Thanks.
It's been introduced. Okay, next item is also introduction of budgetary ordinance 23-03, appropriating the edit tax. Economic Development Income Tax is what EDIT stands for. City Attorney Lynn Gray.
Thank you, Mayor. You will recall that the county passed the appropriate requirements for imposing the edit tax, and as part of the edit tax, some of that money filters down to the various municipalities within the county. We have an amount of money, I'm sorry, Jane, I can't remember, perhaps you, Mayor, remember the.
Eventually, we will get over $2 million.
We will eventually get $2 million, and we have already passed a plan for the use of those edit funds. As part of the edit requirements, because it's a very specific tax, the municipality that is getting the funds must pass a plan on what they intend on doing with that money, and you've already done that. And that enabled us, by adopting a plan, to receive the monies. The next step is then you must pass an appropriation, as we typically do in other ordinances, that allow you to take that money, put it in the appropriate fund, and then pay for those things that you've already approved in the plan. So this is phase 2, and you will see that each month the appropriation will actually change because we get it on a monthly, is that correct?
The 10th of each month.
We get money, so it increases, but we first have to set up that fund where that money will go to, and this is the appropriation. This is an ordinance, so it is an introduction only, and will be asked to act upon it at your next meeting, and by that time, we may have more money. No, actually, it'll be May 1st, so we'll be all right. But that's what you're being asked to do, is simply to appropriate it.
And I think we had the conversation today, Jane, about maybe trying to do this every quarter, and then next year it will be in our budget. Yeah, and I'll work with Jeff Peters on how did we get that into our budget, like the rest of our budget. So that one's been introduced as well. Next item, yearly tax abatement compliance report for approval, Community Development Specialist Dana Monson.
Dana, it's a good thing we're a tree city, all those ones you're killing here. Wow.
Yeah, we have 45 abatements,
Yeah.
so it's quite a few. But yes, I am here tonight with the final 13 tax abatement compliance reports for this year. So I know I'm very excited, and I'm quite certain Mr. Taylor is extremely excited to no longer have to read these. But all 3 of these were recommended for approval by the Franklin Economic Development Commission. They are C 2023-02 Franklin Tech Park 2109, C 2023-07 Energizer Holdings 1908, C 2023-09 G&H Wire 2112, C 2023-19 MTEA 1307, C 2023-20 MHICC 1306, C 2023-21 MHICC 1329, C 2020-30 Ortho America PRJ Properties 2134, C 2023-31 Ortho America 2136, C 2023-32 Overton Industries 1621, C 2023-33 Overton Industries 2201, C 2023-34 PMT 1708, C 2023-26 Pure Development 2127, C 2023-37 Rapid Prototyping 1801, and C 2023-38 Rapid Prototyping 1910. So, Mr. Taylor, I don't know if you have anything to add to these, or?
Yeah, most of these were pretty cut and dry. There was a few in there that we've heard the last couple of years is, COVID, supply issues, but we also did see the general trend that most of the salaries were higher when they were finding people, and then they were also being able to retain those people because they were training them. They were bringing, a couple of them were bringing in at a little bit lower wage than anticipated, but they were training them and keeping them on. So there was 2 of them. There was one which one did we bring back?
Powder Metal Tech.
Yeah, we did bring one in to kind of see what was going on, if they had changed their philosophy, and they had changed their philosophy. They were heavily involved in the automotive industry, kind of had all their eggs in one basket. Now they're kind of changing and doing some different things than what they used to try to drum up some more business, and they were pretty high on their outlook coming forward. So as Dana said, it's a long, arduous process, but it looks like most of the companies are doing really well, and the salaries are up across the board.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, I know you all are very familiar, we do this all the time, but there are some new faces out there. This is a perfect meeting to for instance, with Mr. Lago coming in and asking for a tax abatement, they may make presentations to the council and ask, as a result of those presentations, these are the kinds of jobs we're going to bring in, these are the investments we're going to make in the community. If the council then approves that abatement, the requirement under the law is that it be reviewed by the Economic Development Commission and then by the council to make sure that the commitments that they have made, they substantially comply with. So every few meetings during the year, during this period of time, Dana brings in each report from each one of these businesses that have gotten a tax abatement to see have they substantially complied with the promises that they have made in order to get the tax abatement. So that's why you see all those listings there. Thought it might be helpful for those new faces out there that are wondering what the heck we're doing.
Good job.
You're welcome.
Did you get that, Mrs. Trueblood, to take,
Yeah.
Miss Trueblood, to take back to
Yeah.
the
It's
mayor?
perfect.
Yeah, okay. So you can report that to the Mayor's Youth Council, right?
Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you, Lynn.
Or you can come sit here next meeting, okay? Because if
Okay.
there's any more of these, you can just advise.
Okay, so back to the task in hand. Do we want to approve?
Move to approve.
Has anybody made a motion yet?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing
Thank
none.
you.
Thank you. Okay, there isn't any other business. That gets us to the council member comments, which is always exciting. We'll start with you, Josh.
I have nothing tonight.
Oh, that's real exciting. Ann, how about, why don't you just tell us what you and Kenny are talking about?
Sorry, not paying attention, sorry. No, I have no comment, thank you.
Thank you. Ken?
I just mentioned at the Board of Works meeting that the street department, kudos to them, you know, with the leaf and limbs and trash and debris and the pickup that they've been doing, and then also us helping Whiteland out. And just kudos to them. They've been super busy and doing a fabulous job. So kudos to them.
Thank you, Ken. Sean?
Nothing tonight, sir?
Bob?
I got a question. We getting close on the 31 project starting?
Is Mark has left. I think the last that I heard, it's going to be in the spring of '24.
They pushed it back a year then.
Yes, and if I have any input on it, and I hope we do, it'll be after April 8th, which is
That's- Oh, the eclipse, yeah.
So if we're waiting the spring, I would hope that they would wait until after April 8th.
I see that the progress on Yandy Street is going well.
It is
Yeah.
starting to pick up, and they're getting close to, well, they're putting up some retaining walls, and it's gonna get close to start seeing, the stabilization has been done, it's gonna start showing good progress.
Good.
King Street's still a ways out, sorry, it's gonna take a while yet. Anything else, Bob?
No, that's all, thank you.
Irene?
No, nothing for me.
I'm good, thank
Come
you.
on, Jennifer, you got something? Miss Trueblood?
In our meetings, we've been working on our presentations for like meeting with people for fundraising for our roundabout project, and then we've also been meeting with the artist Arlon to work on our roundabout project. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, is this your first meeting at a council?
No, it's not. I think I've been here a couple times.
Okay, all right, well, thanks for coming tonight. All right, Tara, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I sent you guys an email about 45 minutes ago. The school reached out to me today, and they're having some IT issues. So we will be posting it, the joint city council school board meeting at City Hall next Monday. So we'll be at City Hall, 6 PM next Monday, but I sent you an email too, so. Thank you.
Thank you. Jane?
Nothing, sir.
Ms. Gray?
No, sir.
Hearing that, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.